welcome to this deep dive. We are looking into a really fascinating and kind of contradictory tax strategy in Mexico today. It's called honorarios asimilados a salarios.
Right, which basically translates to fees assimilated to salaries.
Exactly. And for you listening, I mean, imagine going to work, wearing a company uniform, sitting at a company desk. But then payday hits, and the government says, oh no, you are legally running your own independent business.
Yeah, it's a massive contradiction. You look exactly like a salaried worker to the government, but legally speaking, you're entirely on your own.
So why would anyone, willingly choose this weird middle ground?
Well, the main reason this exists is because it's not actually a labor law at all. I mean, under Article 94 of the income tax law, the LISR, it's purely a tax collection mechanism.
Okay, so it's strictly about taxes.
Exactly. The government basically built a bridge to collect income tax from independent workers more efficiently. It lets a company withhold taxes for a freelancer the exact same way they do for the regular payroll.
Ah, right. Which actually explains why it's so popular, because for the worker, I mean, you get pure administrative simplicity.
Oh, absolutely.
You don't need to issue those CFDIs,
Yeah.
those super complex digital invoices.
Right, the ones that basically force you to hire a dedicated accountant just to avoid tax penalties.
Yeah. You just do the work, you get paid,
Yeah.
and often you can even negotiate a higher net cash payout in the process.
And the employer sees a huge upside, too. I mean, they save anywhere from like 25% to 35% on overhead.
Wow. Wait, 35% savings?
Yeah, because they aren't paying Social Security quotas. Plus, they get total operational flexibility. They can just end the contract when a project wraps up, without the usual administrative friction.
Okay, wait, let's unpack this. Because if a company saves up to 35% and the worker gets easier taxes, isn't this just like a massive legal loophole to avoid hiring people properly?
Well, that is the core tension here. This whole regime operates completely outside of the federal labor law, the LFT, and the LFT hinges on one specific trigger, which is subordination. So if someone dictates your hours and gives you direct orders, you're an employee. You get legal protections.
But under this tax option, legally they assume you're totally independent.
Exactly. So the worker surrenders all of those safety nets.
Meaning, no IMSS for healthcare, no Infonavit for housing, no mandatory Christmas bonus, the aguinaldo.
Yeah, and zero paid vacations.
It's literally like walking a tightrope without a net. I mean, it's great for speed, but if you fall, like if you suddenly get fired, you have absolutely no severance pay to protect you.
None at all. Which is why, to defend against the assumption that these are just disguised employees, companies have to use a civil or mercantile contract.
Oh,
Yeah, they can never use a standard employment agreement. The absolute golden rule is no subordination.
so no fixed rules.
Right. The moment an employer assigns a permanent desk or, mandates a strict 9 to 5 schedule, they've crossed that red line.
So how do they stop companies from just putting their entire staff on this regime to save that 35%?
Well, the SAT steps in.
The tax authority.
Exactly.
Right.
Mexico's tax authority is highly vigilant with this. If they or a labor judge see any evidence of subordination, they will reclassify the relationship as true employment.
Oh, wow.
And the penalties for the employer, for simulating independence just to evade taxes and labor duties, they are severe. It often wipes out any savings they thought they had.
So for you listening, if you were ever offered this kind of contract, you really have to weigh that higher net cash against the harsh reality that you could be let go tomorrow with zero severance.
Yeah, both parties have to strictly respect the boundaries of that civil contract. The moment the worker is treated like a subordinate, that entire legal shield just falls apart.
It is definitely a double-edged sword. Brilliant for tax simplicity, but incredibly dangerous if it's masking a real job. Which really leaves you wondering, if optimizing our taxes means completely stripping away a century of worker protections, does the modern freelance economy desperately need an entirely new legal category? One where you don't have to pretend to be an employee just to get a basic safety net.